Welcome to another episode of the South Asian MenSpace podcast. And today I am joined by Krishnan, and we talk a lot about his journey into talking and dance and also fatherhood as well. So make sure you listen in, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment on YouTube if you're listening or watching from there. Make sure you download this episode and listen in on Spotify if you're listening in from there. And otherwise, enjoy the episode, give out some love to Krishnan, and you can also find him on Instagram. And if you're interested in yourself coming on and speaking on this podcast and you identify yourself as a South Asian man, contact me. Let me know. I can either have you in by yourself or I can have you with other people as well. So do let me know. But otherwise, I hope you enjoy this episode and I will see you in the next one. Welcome, Ram, to the podcast.
Hello. Hi, Jax.
So what we're going to normally do is start with a check-in. We
Okay.
just talk about how we're feeling. Um, Maybe a small introduction to people that don't know you.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll just go from there. So if you're happy to start, and then I'll go after you. Yeah.
Okay. First, let me speak about how am I feeling. I'm feeling overwhelmed after I had a conference for the past 2 days, so a lot of information gathered, a lot of connections done, too much of social stuffs. So yeah, so I'm feeling overwhelmed. Once I put all those in paper or somewhere in the laptop or somewhere, then the that feeling might reduce. But then this overwhelming is happily overwhelmed, like not like I'm done, bro. No, I'm happily overwhelmed, and so that's the current feeling I have. Uh, yeah, and about myself, my full name is Ramakrishnan Rangarajan, and to make people's life easier, I let them call me Ram. Ravi named me Bubble Lock because I do locking. So that's what it is. Like I am locking since 2014, I would say. And Ravi was my teacher, first teacher, I can say. And when I did locking, he said like, Anna, this is what your style is. You need to set it here. And you are named as Bubble Lock. Let's go. So that's how Bubble Lock came in. And then yeah, since then I've been dancing on and off in maintenance mode because I took an IT path after my college. So I was working as an engineer, and then traveled different cities within India, and then traveled to Malaysia. Lived there for close to 3.5 years, working there. Uh, and then 5 years ago moved to Ireland. So 15 years of IT. But then I always had dance on the side, and I always tried to check in regularly. But after my child, it got a little reduced and access was denied. And then when he grew up, and I thought, okay, it's time to get out of the couch and shake out. Like for the past 4 years, I'm more active, and the calling was very, very strong, and I decided to pursue arts completely. So that's what a little bit about myself. And I also love sports, any sports. Like I am a team player. Like anything involved with team, I love it. I get involved and uh, love traveling, and that's what made me decide to start start my life in three different places in three different time. It's a big challenge, I would say, and I've traveled a lot. Um, and so, yeah, that's the thing for now is good, and then we can go from there.
Cool. Nice. So yeah, my name's Jag, and today I'm feeling good. So I had work in the morning, and then I've actually done two other podcasts today. So
Oh, wow.
I've been off for a month or so, and I don't know. The last month I've been busy with like a bit of traveling, a bit of just life, but feeling not as inspired to do the podcast. So I took a break, but now I'm feeling a lot more inspired. I think I just overworked myself, so now I'm back into it. Excited, reflecting on a few things, and yeah, feeling good overall, man. Feeling good.
Awesome.
Um, So just yeah, so people that are listening or watching, and they don't know who Ravi is. So Ravi Rama, B-Fam crew, and a crew from India, a dance crew. So just so that people don't know can look him up. I've also done a podcast with him, and I've also done another podcast with Adish as well, who's also part of
Yeah.
the group. So today we're joined by Ravi in the group. At this rate, I might go through the whole group eventually. But yeah, there's a lot of things you said. And the first thing that pops up in my head that I wanted to delve into is traveling. So I've been brought up in the UK most of my life. Um, and to move away from family to go to another country, start a family, live there. For me, it sounds very scary, and like I can't imagine myself doing that. Whereas you've done this, like you've traveled a lot. You've said you love traveling. You've come from India all the way down to Ireland. Now you're living there as well. You started a family. You're doing what you love. Is it easy for you because you love traveling, or was there a lot of risk and struggle involved in that process?
Definitely, it's not easy, I would say. I love challenges, mainly like new places. And my way of traveling is not just going for a vacation or just like doing a backpacking and stuff. The traveling that I've done is like moving from place to place and just live there for a year or two, and then when I don't like it, I move or I stay back, or that's how I was traveling. And then on the way, like if I'm living there for a year, of course I will try to catch up the nearby places. Uh, so I've been traveling since 2010. Traveled three cities, four cities, three to four cities in the South India. I not traveled, like lived in four cities, and then moved to Malaysia, lived there for 3.5 years, and then moved to Ireland. And when I moved to Ireland after a year, I felt really good and calm. I thought this is my place and I want to settle down. So this is the longest after India. This is the longest tenure in one place. Uh, so even in Ireland, I lived in Dublin for 1.5 years and then moved to town, like the county side, which is 80 kilometers away. I'm that kind of person. Like I don't like fast moving cities. I like calm and trying to settle down. That's the idea. So yeah, and for anyone who wish to travel, it is good. Like you can try out. There is nothing wrong. No matter if you're married or not married or whatever your relationship status is, just try it. Like don't. I mean, if it's hard, maybe try a month. Maybe try to catch up a friend and then try to move there, stay there for a month. Even we can start from, even if you are in UK, try to move out from London. Say for example, if you're in London, move to Manchester or somewhere else to just see how it is for a month. And the learning that you get is so much. Like when I the first time when I moved from my house, um you got to do everything by yourself, right? Even though it's India, the game is different in every city, and language is different in every city that I live. And I try to put myself in a hard time, and I try to put around different people. I don't live in with my people. So say my mother tongue is Tamil, so I don't go stay with the Tamil group. I go and stay with a Hindi speaking group so that I can learn Hindi. I can learn how they how the people are like. So I try to get that challenge. So start from cooking and start take like doing your own things and trying to be yourself. All this is involved in traveling, and when you do that for a long term, normal traveling like backpacking and going to a hotel, checking in, spending money, that is different way of traveling, which coming from a middle class, that's not my way of doing it. So
So it sounds like there's a part of you that you love adventure, you love spirit, like the idea of like traveling, going to new places, trying new things. Have you always been dancing? Like, what age did you kind of start dancing,
mhm.
and why locking?
Why locking? Okay. So dance was part of my life since I am like 8 years old. So the first, like even before that, I have been on stage, but I was called as an introvert even till I was 13 years old. I was treated as an introvert, and I was not very bold enough to go out and do things on my own. But then this incident, whenever someone asks me this question, this is what pops up. So I went to a temple like Tirupati. If you have been to Tirupati, it's in Andhra Pradesh. It's a big temple, like yeah, it's a very big temple, and then it's a big game. They're going to see the Lord Balaji is really hard because what they do is this is not this case when you pay for a ticket, but when you go for a free ticket, uh, they have cages. Okay, and then they put people in groups, and then they open the cage one by one to manage the flow of traffic, like people moving. So this I'm talking about when I'm 8 years. So rewind like 30, no, 20, 26 years ago or 25 years ago, let's say. Yeah, yeah, 26, 27 years ago. So they put cages, and then we keep moving from place to place, right? Um, so while doing that, we make friends. We make people, like ladies used to talk to the other ladies and try to gossip or spend some time together, as a group. And I'm talking about 15, 18 hours to get the get to that place to see Lord Balaji. So we are talking about 18 hours or 15 hours, and then each hour or 30 minutes they keep moving the cage. So there was a group of boys, like college boys, like 20 years or 18 and 20 years ago, 20 years old boys. They were having the vibe, Ghana song, and they have a hand instrument they used to play, and then they were singing and having fun. And then I was happy listening to that, and I started dancing in my own space, and they saw me, and they picked me from there and asked me to be there with them, to vibe with them with their music, and they wanted me to dance. And I was dancing with them happily. And then all these 12 hours, rest of the 12 hours, I would say, I didn't walk. I didn't walk because they were carrying me. So they were putting me on top of their shoulders, and then they were carrying me for the whole 12 hours. Uh, like, uh, like they gave me a celebrity feeling, like they were so happy and excited to see a small boy dancing, and they giving that energy. So for the next 10, 12 hours, they were just carrying me. And so yeah, and then this was not in my brain for a long time. And then when I was 8, 12, 13 years old, I had another opportunity to dance on stage, and that's another story. But then, yeah, I'm dancing since then, different styles, like, we call it Western dance, and then we do all sort of things. There was nothing called hip hop 20 years ago in India. So locking, exactly, like I said in the beginning, I had no idea of all this differentiation until 2012. And then Ravi started BFAB in 2011, 10. And since then, like even before Ravi started BFAB, we both are friends. We did college, and he was my college junior. And again, there is another story there, how I met him and all that. But then So he was doing BFAB, he was doing his own groundwork, and at one point of time he said, Anna, I'm going to be a full-time dancer, and he just chose the path. And then I was working in a different city at that time. I think Cochin. Yeah. So I was working there. So I had no contact, but then I also always see him hustling and working hard. And then 2014, I got opportunity to go back to Chennai, my place, and work there for 2 years. So that is when I actually started learning all the other styles like hip hop, house, locking, popping a bit, all those things. So and then when I was learning this, Ravi is the one who taught all the styles, and then he's the one who encouraged me. He said like this style is just on your body, comes naturally. So I don't know why, but then it is natural on your body. I think you should pursue that. And then he named me Bubble Lock. So I thought, okay, I think if he says that it should be right, and then even I enjoy doing that because locking is something of my character. I can feel after learning about that what is locking, what's the history of locking and all that. It's very social. There is a lot of social element to this style and interaction with people, which I really love. And the funkiness in your body and your character, you have a strong character coming into place when you do locking. So yeah, that's why I chose locking, and I also learn other styles, right? I learn house, I learn normal freestyling and Afro. I like popping, all these styles, crump. So I learned this. It's like making a biryani. So I'm making a chicken biryani. Chicken locking is my chicken, and then rest everything goes into the style to make the whole dish. To make it flavorful. So that's what I approach dance. So recently I'm doing theater. I'm exploring theater performance, street, like bringing hip hop into theaters. So I'm exploring that for the past 3 years. So yeah, I'm representing locking and trying to tell stories in my own way. So yeah, that's why locking and dance.
Nice. Um, you mentioned something, I guess, before we were kind of starting the podcast, talking about you're recruiting for people to join your the dance group BFAB, and you mentioned you're looking for. There's a certain way that you look at artists. Like there's like a lens that you look at them through, and it's like it's not just about being a good dancer, but there's more to it. Um, how would you describe that?
Um, the short answer is I don't know. Because it's like there is some kind of energy that's created, right? When you are an artist, there is some kind of energy that is created around you, and I know what BFAB is, what the values of BFAB is. So we can name few. For example, we don't work for free. That's the bottom line, like, no, no free work. So and then we don't go behind fame. So these are all, I'm just giving some examples, right? We work hard in our, like, the core. You are a dancer, and you need to learn everything related to dance, and you cannot be choosy, like, okay, I just want this, I just want this. And then you put all into yourself and bring your character and make some art, which is very unique. And you cannot, so unless you learn from Ravi, you can see that uh, the guys who are artists now, like, everybody has a good following and they have busy in their own space. You can clearly see that there is some element in each of the guys, right? And that's what I'm trying to bring as well, and I'm sure that I have that element as well in my storytelling, in my way of performing, and all that. So even BFAB. before we were normalizing all the auditions and stuff. Even when we audition, we see that not just dance, we also see as the person, like how you are, and what is your value, like how social you are, and how approachable you are for people, and how do you volunteer, and how do you want to inspire a community, right? And we oftentimes we get busy with social work, so we get to, so even when there was a flood in 2015, we hired a truck and went all around, clothes, giving away clothes, giving away groceries, giving away sanitary pads and all the necessary stuffs to the affected areas, giving away food. So we were doing this like very actively for at least like a week or 10 days. And so these kind of things, this is one thing that we remember, but then we regularly do this voluntary stuffs, and we believe arts is for bringing the change in the society, in the community. So that's what we see in whenever we try to make a team, make a group. Apart from that, so when I say we don't follow fame, for example, we don't follow high trending stuffs. We make the trend is what we believe in. It can be trending, it cannot be trending, but then it's ours. Like we have the pride of making something by our own, right? So yeah, that's what we always look for when we try to get a fresh body into our uh, collective.
And because you kind of mentioned it a few bits, but like you as a dancer,
Mhm.
um, what are you doing right now in your own practice, in your day to day life to practice stepping into those values? Like apart from like the things, obviously, like helping other people, sharing what you've learned as well.
Mm.
How are you exploring your character and bubble up, for example?
Okay.
How are you pushing your limits in terms of dance?
Yeah, so currently I'm exploring like theater arts. That's the main thing that I'm working on,
Mhm.
and trying to tell stories, trying to be a performing art, like more into performing arts, and go into theaters and get people. So back in the days, we had something called Terukuthu in South India. Yeah, Tamil Nadu. They may name it different in different states and different places, but then Terukuthu is something like bringing social awareness into people when there is king, and when all the classical stuff happens in the king's place, they enjoy. And then but then there is a group of street dancers trying to create revolution, create awareness of things that are going on, and try to awake people who are not aware of things what's going on politically. So all these things happens, and I think we have a very good opportunity in exploring this hip hop and street dance, and also coming from that roots. We can tell a lot of stories to this society and drive influence. So that's what I'm exploring at the moment. And apart from that, I'm also learning a lot of stuffs, be curious of learning. For example, now for the past 3 months, I'm busy learning VFX editing. Uh, so which is nothing related to my what I'm doing, but then uh, that's a part of storytelling, right? Bringing something into reality and telling a story. So I'm learning VFX editing. It is good. And next 2 weeks, I'm going to be working in a studio on live projects. So yeah, 2 weeks I'll be working there. And then next year, I'm also going to do some course related to TV and film production. So all these are related to storytelling, writing scripts, producing, and all those things, right? And I feel this is a very big asset for my dance, and also, or if I happen to make movies, dance or this my character will be an asset to there. I don't know. Like I want to be driving people and be busy with arts, and then so I'm just trying to be busy with learning as much as possible so that I can uh, tell my story in a unique way.
When you I guess obviously prior to this you had a different career, right?
Yeah.
So when you made that decision to quit and you're gonna do this full time,
Mm.
how did one, how did your family take it? And two, how did you jump into it? Were you just confident? Were you like, I've done my bit, I can always go back? Or were
Okay.
you like, I'm going all in with my new career, that's it?
Okay. Wow, it's a very difficult question. So, I don't regret what I did, but then I feel it is late of a late realization. But I was having this even before my marriage. I was very clear that I love dancing. I will be a full-time dancer at some point, as long as I can make sure I will be able to make a revenue to support my family.
Mm.
That was my mindset at that point of time, like 10 years ago. But then a lot of things changed. I never looked back. I was dancing, I was doing a little bit here and there. Uh, and 4 years ago, when I restarted dancing, I clearly saw that the happiness that I get from that particular 1 hour or 2 hours that I put into that dance. Although I do a lot of stuff, be busy with a lot of stuffs, that particular 1 hour or 2 hour, the happiness that gave me was enormous. And I thought, okay, I think I should pursue that. And then for the past 3 4 years I was working hard. Like I was I was not seeing that dance as a side hustle, but then as a full time. Like I have two full times. That's how I felt, and I was crazy. Like honestly to say, I burned out so much, which was so wrong. And then in November 2023, yeah, I was going on a camp, like a 1 day camp. But then, yeah, like I said, I was busy and I was working hard, going for dance camps regularly, workshops, learn myself, compete, perform, create group. All these things were there for the past 3 years, right? But then in November 2023, I did a 1 day camp to understand to make dance as a business, how to make a dance as a business. So there were big people who have 1,000 students, 800 students, 500 students in US. They came in here in Ireland to take that workshop, 1 day workshop, and try to break it down. And then when I was asking all my questions, they were very open. And then one dance teacher, she is about, I would say, 50 years or 60 years. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Like maybe 50 years. Okay. She is also a student. I mean, like an attendee. And then when we were going away from the workshop, like we finished the workshop, we learned everything. I had so much overwhelming information. Like now, uh, I had that, and then while I was walking towards the bus stop, she said like, I'm inspired what you're doing. She came to talk to me, and we were also chatting. And then one thing she said, okay, look, I'm so and so old, and I have two daughters who are running the business mainly, but I was doing another job and dance for 16 years, and I regret so much. I would say don't do that. Decide and then move on. Decide quick and move on, she said. And then I was still, even before November, I was making out plans and how to make that thing, how to make that money and stuff. And then I was thinking to quit my job 2025, like mid 2025. That was my forecast and target. But then 3 months ago or 4 months ago, like in January, I had a chat with my kid, like he's 7 year old, and I was talking about all this dance and stuff. He's cute. Like, I will talk about support a few minutes later, but then he just said one thing: Dad, if you want to dance, just dance. Why are you stressing yourself too much? He, if you take 3 classes, I don't know how he calculated that, but then he said, if you take 3 classes a day, you will make the same money that you are making with your laptop job. That's what he said. You know, I I mean, it's like, dude, I was struggling for 15, 18 years and you're just 7 year old and I don't know what, I mean, you may not know the complexity of things, but then you are so clear of do what you like, you know. That's all about it. Like, and all this calculation and stuff are stupid, I feel like. Um what I understood lately is like whatever you make, it will be consumed. So if you reduce the making, you will consume less. If I make sense. So you need to be ready for that challenge, and you need to make that lifestyle changes to make that possible. Otherwise, it's just an excuse, I felt. So coming back to support, I have no support from my family. The only support I have now is my child. So yeah, so he's the only guy, like whenever I go for a competition, he says, okay, I will have a surprise for you. And then even if I come back without winning, or if I'm low, he will have a card made like congratulations, first place winner, and all those things. I have few posts on my Instagram. So he creates a medal for me. I have them on my things with all the trophies and stuff. So that's very valuable, you know. He understands that how much I love. So yeah, it's a great that he's my powerhouse. Otherwise, I don't have support. Like my parents did not support. They because they didn't understand. And then at that time, all this arts and nobody will what do you call believe if you say you can make money through YouTube, or if you make money through just playing games on YouTube. It will be like you are stupid. So that's how the generation was, and even I was a kind of old school, so I was a bit scared of all this society. But then again, coming back to what he said, just do what you want and don't just go from there. So that's I think that's what made me decide I have to quit now. And so I think yeah, there were a few
That's a
other
beauty.
yeah, there were a few other personal reasons, but then I don't want to discuss about it. But yeah, so but then sooner or later, like if not today, I would be doing that mid 2025 or end of 2024. That was my target, but then I'm glad that I did now, and I have all my time back to do what I want until 2025.
I think that's the beauty of what you said is like just children.
Yeah.
They they lead with their hearts a lot, you know, they
Mm-hmm.
lead with their passion. And as an adult, you probably question them, be like, no, that's stupid. No, it doesn't make sense. It's not logical. You can pay the bills, but actually, there is that some level of risk taken needed to pursue those bigger goals, right, in life as well. Especially like when you want to pursue your passions, your dreams that are irrational to other adults. The only people that kind of really see your vision are children because they
Mm.
haven't got the limited beliefs at that age.
Yeah. It's like an animation.
Uh,
No
yeah,
limits
yeah.
into your yeah, that's what they believe.
How is your how is this is maybe off topic, but how is your relationship with your son then? Because it sounds like you have a very like close, like loving relationship.
Yeah.
How have you raised him in the sense of like how do you speak to him in terms of career, path, dancing, passions? Like because I'm sure as a like an Asian, South Asian man, our parents, you know, they inflict, you know, you should do this, you should do this, you should lead your life like this, you shouldn't do this. You are it sounds like you're aware of those kind of limitations and you want to live your life differently. So seeing your son and you know helping him grow, teaching him, how do you do anything differently, like what's your method if there is one?
I just I don't I mean I just listen. I don't say anything in terms of whatever he want to be or what he wants to do. I just try to enable that for him. So, for example, if he says that he wants to do swimming, okay, there you go. To try for a while. I want to do taekwondo. Okay, try for a while. So just trying to give as much as possible, but I never force him, even for dance. Like I've never asked him about dance, but he loves dancing. He is dancing since the age of uh, 2.5, I'd say. So there is a video in YouTube when he was like 2.5, 3 years old. He does locking. Whenever I train, like he's there and he see me doing these moves, and then he always loved to go on the ground doing the 6 step, the breaking move and all those things. He loves dancing. Like he enjoys that. Sometimes he doesn't, but then I don't force. Sometimes he wants to do classes. Sometimes I try to force him to go for the class because like in the recent times because I'm preparing the kids for a competition, so it's important. So that will affect the whole group. So that's the only reason I'm asking him to go. But then yeah, otherwise he is always open to dance. He loves dancing, and he's my partner as well. Like whenever I hustle, whenever I train, he comes with me, and then we go rounds. Like he does his move, and then I do my moves. So we do that often. Career wise, yeah, I think yeah, he keeps changing. Like a few years ago, he was saying he want to become a fireman, and then a few years ago, he said he want to become a musician and do busking. So it changes. Like a few months ago, he said he wants to do cooking, like he wants to become a cook. So whenever he brings that topic, I would just go speak about how to be a cook, and then I would say, okay, if you want to be a cook, you may have to move to France because French cuisine is so good. Like you can learn a lot of stuffs in French. So I think you should go. So you know what I mean? Like I'm trying to enable him to talk more and explore that area more, which makes him understand whether if this is for him or not. Yeah, my aim for him as well. Like I just want to be in a position to make sure I will give him a good environment, and that's another reason to choose that. Okay, if live in Ireland, he will have a um better opportunity and decide whatever you want to be. So yeah, that's the thing.
Nice. One thing I was thinking in my head is like, I guess him seeing you pursue your goals, you're being a role model. You're showing him. You're pursuing your goals. You're scared. You don't know, how you're going to do it, but you're pushing through and you're doing your best. And I guess that in itself is a great way for him to kind of look up to and to be like, you know what, this is. I don't know what I want to do, but I'm going to keep
Yeah,
trying, keep pushing. So that's in a way that can look into. I guess in my head, it's a nice thing that I can see.
exactly, true.
Um, One question that we will always ask on the podcast is, what does it mean to be a South Asian man?
Hmm.
And I have two questions, I guess. So one is, what does it mean to you to be a South Asian man? But second thing is, what will you teach your son about being South Asian?
Okay, so for the first part, there are a lot of, I mean, culture involved into it. As a South Asian man, I think any culture, for that matter, have its own uh, pros and cons. Um, One thing that I could reduce is like as a South Asian man in the culture is the anger and the way we react with anger. So I learned that lately. So I think that was a part of culture, or at least that's how I saw men in my childhood. So. Uh, so that's one lesson that I learned late with a lot of hard things. But then I know now how to react when I'm angry. So that's one thing. Apart from that, the education, the importance that we give for education, being a South Asian man, is enormous, and there it has its own pros and cons. But then I believe anybody who wants to do anything should go through proper education system. You can blame, you can question, you can say that no, education system is stupid. No, but then what it does is not the education. It is making you sit in one place for 6 hours to 8 hours, focus on something that some you may like something, you don't like most of the thing, but still you need to sit there and listen to someone blah 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 doing that, and then while doing that have some fun with your friends and understand the people around you and understand how they react in different situations, wins, losses, and a lot of stuff, when you be in a classroom. So I think you should go through that thing at least until 17, 18 years old. It can be different. Like you can, I'm not saying that everybody should do engineering. That is a very stupid thing that a lot of lot of Asians do, like South Asians as well. But then whatever you want to pursue, do that full time, do that, go for a proper learning in that. Like don't say that, okay, I want to, I don't like traditional learning. I There are so many people who are dropouts, and then but then dropouts and then they pursue arts, right? And then they find their own way. It is very, very rough, I would say. But second thing, when you go on that particular path, when you learn, uh, I said you right, like there is something like out of five subject you may not like three, but then you like two, but still you need to learn this three. But this three can be a plan B for you in future if that two doesn't work. So you have this all five in your pocket and try to do that anytime. I think as a South Asian man, I feel proud and happy that the way how we give importance to education. Of course, in Asia, we don't have this segregation of arts, different types of arts, and how the way how they do here in Ireland or in Europe. But then, yeah, so that will evolve slowly. Still, it is hanging there. So yeah, these three things I would like to talk about South Asian men, and then what I would teach about being South Asian men to my child. Nothing. I think it's injected already in your DNA, right? And my dad never said like, "Hey, South Asian men should be like that." Maybe he didn't realize that I will be traveling so far and then pursuing my career here in an unknown island. But then I wouldn't say like this is how South Asian men should be. This is how I should be. This is how you should be. It is all comes naturally, and then all I teach him to be a good person. Uh, try to have compassion among people, and do good. Don't be silly all the time. Although kids does silly things, like he does silly things on and off, but then I try to catch that and say, no, this is not good. Don't be silly. And then I explain why, how you think, and then he's a star in the school as well, like his teacher's favorite. And I used to hear really good stuffs for him. Like here the education system is quite different from India, and the teacher says that he's very good, like he's so kind to people, and all those things, and I'm really happy listening to that. So yeah, that's what I teach him.
Nice. Um, is it's been a pleasure speaking to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a way of time.
Yeah.
Is there anything on your mind from what we've discussed? Any questions that you have that you want to ask?
Questions? I don't have any questions, but then a few things. I can give shout out to a lot of people in my life. So instead of giving shout out, because it will take another whole podcast to for each person, because that's how people have impacted me in my life. Um, but try to acknowledge the help that you receive, show that gratitude, and try to jot down what you are gratitude about, like for like which gives you a lot of energy towards yourself, and it makes you humble when you practice gratitude. Uh, and and the second part of that gratitude is give that back to others, like, okay, I received help from someone, and then I help others, try to do something good. I'm not talking about money. Till now I have never got any money help, like maybe small here and there, but then not a very big thing. Not being dependent on any money, like everything, like even like I always try to do that. Since my college, I do some small work, and somehow I used to take tuitions and something, like always hustle and make a little bit of money. But then what I'm trying to say is, people think that money is the only thing that you can give to help. No, time and knowledge, and trying to be good to that person, that is more important. So yeah, so first you have to be grateful for what you have received, which when you do that, you will automatically be humble, and again you will be doing that to others in some way, and they are feeling grateful for you. That's a different story, right? Um, so that's totally fine. There are so many things in our culture, like Tirukural. I used to. That's my mantra always. I don't know, like more than 10 or 15 Tirukural, but then by heart. But then I always try to refer that, and I remember back of my mind. I remember those and try to follow that. So I don't follow Bible, or I don't follow what is that, like Bhagavad Gita or Quran or anything. But then my holy book is Tirukural. So Tamilan is the thing that I have, and Tirukural is my thing. So yeah, so if someone wants to learn, it's really nice. It's a big asset for yourself. Like, go learn Tirukkural. And gratitude is one thing, and second thing is supporting your family. I would like to say, there was one incident when we had a theater performance. We finished a theater performance, and then we opened the stage for Q&A session, and one of the parents, like, I had a partner who in the group, and he performed along among us, and then his parents came in to see us perform, right? And they were over 50s or something, and then they asked one question, like, okay, my child wants to pursue dance or arts. How do I support him? They asked this question. I got the mic, and then I said, this question itself is 80% of support that is done there. How can I help? You know, that's that particular thing in your family, or whoever wants to hustling support. Uh, that's 80% done already, and rest of the 20% is he will automatically ask, I need help here, I need help here. If possible, do it. If not, just say no. I'm out of options. I cannot help, and that's just 20%, right? And the whole 80% is open to support as a family member. So I think that's very important. If someone is hustling, not just in arts, in anything, any good stuff, if they have, try to listen, and go ask, okay, what you did, what you did about it. Like, okay, if they are saying, like, I want to be that, and then try to research on how to become like that. If you don't know, nobody knows anything. It's the same. It's back to my mom. Like when I was doing school, she doesn't know that, but what she does is she goes to other houses, learn for me, and then bring that and and then teach me. So we didn't have Google at that time. So now we have all the technology in hand. So go do that research and try to give them some help. And then check in regularly, like what you did and what are you busy with. That's the biggest help that you can do. And acknowledging that he is into something or she is into something is very, very important as a family person. Otherwise there is no family, I feel. no and for artists, not everybody will understand, so don't take it hard. And relationship is different. It's a different game. And support received from relationship is a different game. So you will definitely have a group of people looking up for you, making noise, shouting for you, and following you. And there is a pool of people already. When you do your art, everybody has their own followers. Be there, do that, and don't worry about all this less support in your family or anything. Just be yourself, just calm down and focus on your art, creative space. And eventually that will happen. And the funny part is, people try to support a big brand. There will be like 10 people, like in your normal circle. Always they speak, oh, I support, like they put all the symbolic help. But then what they do is they follow big brands. They don't follow small brands or try to get a coffee. They ask for free. Even for a coffee, let's say there is a coffee shop. They go they go spend monies in Starbucks or big brands. But then when they come to a small coffee shop, they ask, "Is there a discount?" Just a coffee. Same with all the dance classes and stuffs, like come perform for free, come take classes for free. What? Why? So go do that. That's the thing for others and also for artists. I think that's all. I'm sorry if someone don't stop me. I keep talking.
Yeah. Um, Thinking there's a lot you've covered. Thank you for coming on.
Okay.
And if people are going to find out about your classes, about how you teach, what information do you have? Like, do you have a website? Do you have Instagram?
Yeah, I have website. It's but then I'm still working on. I remember Ravi talking about it as well. We are working on a bigger thing, like website and applications. It has been slow, but then we are active on Instagram pages, and do classes. I don't do online classes. I only do classes here in Dublin. I also teach kids in my town. Apart from that, I want to give shout out to Rooted Collective, which Adish is rooting to, and we are other big dancers also coming together, and we are trying to exactly what I said few minutes ago about the Terukuthu and theater performances. We are trying to create and explore our identity, so that's what we are doing. So watch out for Rooted Collective. And also, yeah, I'm doing my own stuff here in Ireland. uh, you can follow bubble_lock in Instagram. And also you can follow United Grooves Europe is what I head for United Grooves. And then United Grooves, there it is in Chennai as well. That is taken care by, it's a dance school that is taken care by my boys there. And then Divya is the big pillar for United Grooves. She's the one. Ravi doesn't believe in traditional dance schools. He loves traveling. He goes teach. That's what his idea is. But then Divya is the one, the anchor. Stay there, do something here, and then she is the big pillar for United Grooves. So shout out to Divya. And then yeah, BFAB has its own following, has its own artists. And then we have music producers now. Shout out to Paul Dappa, Vengayo, and many other guys. Sai is also underground lyricist and singer, so shout out to him. And a lot of things, like we are an ecosystem, I feel like, and it's all like manifestation that we did, and everything coming true. It's so good to see and watch my guys doing very busy, being very busy. And that is also one other reason for me to say, okay, I have a big support there, a big powerhouse there. I think I don't care whatever. I can win a bread and a butter for my kid and my family. So I don't care anymore.
Amazing. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
Um, I do obviously do other episodes with other people as well, so I'd love to have you back on with other dancers, maybe people from YouTube as well. I'll be
yeah,
good in the future.
definitely.
Yeah, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, definitely we can explore a few other parts. And I'm really, what you're doing is so good, especially for South Asian men. I'm really down to anything that you come up with, or even as a team like BFAB. I'm sure boys will be there to support. So let us know, and big shout out to you, what
Thank
you're
you.
doing. I listened to a couple of your podcast, and what you do is so pure. And all the best for your
Thank you.
career.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. And yeah, definitely be good to dance with you and learn from you as well one day.
definitely, man.